Looking forward to going to the SEC tournament. It's, to me, the kickoff of the postseason. It kind of gets your attention turned to it feels different, you know. Glad it's in Nashville. Love Nashville. Not that we don't love Greenville when it's there too, but Nashville, one of my all-time favorite cities. We've got a lot of fun planned. It's been nice to have a little bit of a break to catch up and get ready. I'm glad that we have an opponent that we've played 8 times in the last 4 years. Yeah. Amber is in charge of the scout. She knows more about him than I do. So, but there's so many fun things about this year. I think this has got to be in the conversation of one of the best years in the history of the women's side of the SEC. There's so many great players. There's been so many great teams. We had the bottom of the league beating the top of the league. We've had 12 teams mentioned at some point in time throughout the year as a possible NCAA tournament team. They're talking about a record number potentially going to the tournament. We had 5- and 6-year seniors with 17-year-old freshmen. We've got, longtime pros in this league. We're going to say goodbye to Coach Blair. And there's been a lot of changes. There's been a lot of changes even in the short time that Amber and I have been going to this thing. But we've got a lot of fond memories. We can go back. We were the last team to beat South Carolina in one of these things in the last 5 years. We've got a lot of positive memories about the tournament. I think we have a good approach. Even though we lost last year in the first round, I think our approach is still really good. We just didn't play well. So it's a fun time of the year. Our kids like this time of the year. I think you could hear it in Mac's voice, somebody that's been through it. And I think when you hear Amber talk, you'll hear that same type of thing.
Just talk about the honorees today. I mean, obviously, Amber, second team All-SEC, freshman of the year, Sam, and Jersey. Outstanding, all 3.
I told them all, put a little asterisk beside this because this is the hardest year to ever be named anything in this league because of the COVID holdovers. There's a lot of kids on that whatever team that should be playing professionally, So if you got named to a team, it's got a little – and I also think we should have had some honorable mentions or something because there are so many other people that I think deserve recognition. And I just want to I think the entire league needs a pat on the back for what and how we've gone about doing it. Some of the situations like we had to down the stretch, us and Ole Miss having to play the number of games we did and all of that. It'll carry a little extra special. The kids always thank the teammates and thank their coaches, but the hard work that they put in to being recognized needs to be recognized by somebody. I'm glad we do them. But it was really hard this year to have it cut off because there were so many great performers. I'm really happy for Amber because I think she should have been in the last couple years. We don't see Mac's name on anything, and that just baffles me.
Yep, I agree.
Mystifies me. And Sasha Goforth not being on the all-defensive team after doing what she's done in our league to the people she's done it to. But it's a hard list. I don't know who you take off because that's always that question. Who do you take off? And I'm not sure I have a good answer for you. You could make a case for about 8 coaches for Coach of the Year. Yep. I make it easy on myself. I vote for whoever wins the conference. I take love out of the equation. I think what a lot of coaches did, some of the things, Doug Novak did an unbelievable job. Kelly Finley did, Kim Mulkey coming in and doing what she did. Kelly Harper living in – you can just go on and on and on. So I love the awards. I'm glad we have them. I'm glad they got them. They earned them. But there's a lot of other players, too, that I think we leave out when it comes to that. But I'm glad it'll go in their media guide and it'll look cool on their stuff. But I know how she feels. I know it's just the hard work paying off. But it's not going to change any of them. It's not going to make Mac play any harder. It's not going to make Amber play any less hard. It's a nice thing to have. I'm glad we do them. And I'm proud of our group. In Jersey, I'll speak to her because she's not up here, but for her to come in and accept the role that she had to get thrust into to guard
Aaliyah Boston.
I mean, these are people that are going to be playing professionally for a long, 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 long time. And she never had one drill growing up on how to do it. We played her at a guard on offense, but she still had to guard somebody defensively. And what she did, I'm glad the coaches recognized how valuable her impact was. And we've seen her growth from, the first time that she had to, the first game was against Tamari Key in the SEC, and now how she's going up against a night in and night out some of the best post players, not only in the conference and in the country, but in the history of our conference. So tremendous year for her. For Sam to get the Freshman of the Year award, I think that shows consistency. That means she did it night in, night out, both sides of the floor, took care of the ball, guarded other people's good guards, scored when we needed to, took over for the point when Mac went out. The all-around versatility. But I think when you heard Mac say it, and Amber can speak to it in a minute, but I think we all knew it was a possibility the second she stepped on campus and started working out. We saw her in the summer, and we knew how lucky we were that she wanted to leave Florida. When we got that phone call from her grassroots coaches saying, we finally have a kid for you. We've known that grassroots program for 20 years, and none of them have ever really wanted to leave the area. But Sam did. And when we went and saw her, we were like, man, if we could get this kid, put her with who we think we're going to have. And that was when we thought this one was going to be gone. So for her to come in and perform consistently from day one throughout the rigor, she got over that freshman wall, early because we played her so much early. And then the way she played, she had an all-conference last 8 to 10 games. Yep. So really happy for all three of them, with Amber sitting beside me, what she's done coming back under the circumstances. If y'all had been in the office when I told her what it was going to be like, y'all would probably run for the hills. I said, you don't understand how hard this is going to be with the number of newcomers we have. I said, when I say trips day one, we're literally going to have to explain where to line up, where to stand, where to run to, where to pass it from. I said, you know how long it's going to take us to do trips? And she started going, that's going to take a while, Coach. Last year I'd go, trips, go.
Yep.
And we knew where to go. There was no explanation. So I said, well, Amber, if you think the first drill is going to take that long, what's going to happen when we have our first 3-game losing streak? What's going to happen when we have our first, this, that, and the other? I said, you're going to have to go beyond being a leader. You're going to have to be a mentor. And that's too much to ask of a college kid. That you're not supposed to be a mentor until you're grown up. So if you come back, because you're going to be the only person in the upper class. It's going to be you. There's not going to be these committees. We didn't have a card council this year. I called Amber, texted her or found her in the gym or whatever. But for her to come back, like I said, I'm not sure most people would have. And then to come back and accept the role and go through the nights when the ball didn't find her. Coach, the ball didn't find it. It'll find you. It's going to take, remember how long it took us at the first. It's going to take that long again. She went through it. She is 7th in the conference in defensive rebounding. I don't know how long I'm going to have to coach to have a more amazing stat than that, or surprising stat. 7th in defensive rebounding in the SEC against the people we just named. She's behind Austin, Boston. It's incredible for what she did and has done and does for us and will continue to do for us. But I'm not surprised one bit that she was able to do it because we saw it at a young age, and she's just continued to grow. So I'm happy that she's had the crowd here to say bye to her, that she's had the moments that she's had. We've been through tough moments, having to hug her after down in San Antonio after the loss, or Austin, with all that was hard. We've had heartbreaks, 1-point game losses. To see it come back around full circle, though, it's all worth it. God, that's the longest I've ever talked. Sorry. Next question. No.
Thanks for the question. Amber, can you pick up there a little bit and just tell us your feelings from the time here and this season and everything you guys have gone through and just coming back here for that?
I'm great. I came here when I did. Playing for Coach Neighbors is an unbelievable feeling. He's the best coach that I've played for in college basketball. really speechless when it comes to it because it's like so many words I can say about him. He's great. Him and his coaching staff do an unbelievable job with the kids he recruits. He recruits with the purpose. He knows what he wants and what he wants to do with his players, which is great. And I'm so glad I came back an extra year to learn. This was like a learning year. I felt like I learned so much more than I have the past couple years. The last couple years I just played. This year I played and learned. So it was definitely a great feeling, great experience coming back, helping the younger players. That's really all I can say. I'm blessed to be in the position that I'm in.
I'll follow up with one thing. Just tell me what it's been like with all these younger ones. What kind of frame of mind are you in now going into this postseason?
Honestly, with the young players that we have, I feel like they're just going out there to play. They don't have to worry about nothing. Like, I'm the one worrying because I'm like, oh, this is my last ride, this is my last one. They are like, they're just going out there to play. I feel like that's their mindset that they're going to have, just play. Leave it all out on the court because they know they're going to get to come back and do it again and again and again for the next couple years. I think that's the mindset we're going to go in with, just play as hard as we can. No matter what happens, we're just going to go out there and play as hard as we possibly could.
Coach, I've just got one for you. Where do you feel like Samara has improved the most, and then what do you think her ceiling is? Like, where does she go from this kind of great season?
The defensive side of the ball, for sure. She was really gifted offensively. She could get the ball where she needed to get it. She knew where she was very, very gifted. And I think that's true for all freshmen, but specific to her, because of who we knew she was going to have to guard. You know, you looked at who all came out and you're going, okay, there's going to be a game we're going to have to choose between Sam Garden, Kayla Pointer, or Alexis Morris. Or, you know, you're looking around and you're going, okay, she's going to have to really grow up defensively. So we challenged her in the offseason. I don't think I put her and Mac together on the same team.
Until it was time to go.
Until it was time to go.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because we knew we were going to start a bunch of different lineups. We had a coaches meeting. Still have the notes I looked at. It was after the first 3 weeks. I think we all felt like our best lineup was going to be Mac and Sam together. We were going to try everybody. We had some upperclassmen that deserved the first chance to try to win those spots, but they couldn't beat Sam out. And our best lineup, practice after practice, when we did start putting them together, was that lineup. So then that's when we said, well, she's going to have to really defensively. You can only gain so much in the weight room in strength and conditioning, and we've got the best people in the country doing that, but you can still only gain so much. So we made her guard Mac. We made her guard Trey, our men's practice player, James Rouse's son, Trey Rouse, who's unbelievably helping us improve. But that, and then her coachability. Like, she was always coachable, but like she said up here, she was so hard on herself. And it was like, she was the one. You remember how I come in, I always say, if you're going to make a mistake, look like a cartoon character going through a wall. I had to explain to him what a cartoon was. But y'all know what I'm talking about, that picture of the cartoon character going through the wall. And Sam was the one that wouldn't ever do that early on. So, because I think she was worried about not playing or not starting, or not gaining their experience, their confidence. But I think when she saw that we had it in her, that's when she let it go. Yep. And we corrected her, and she took it, and she watched film. She watches
the most film.
Would you say the most, or as much as maybe the most? Maybe
the most. Her and Mac are tied. Her and Mac and Sasha are tied for the most, I feel like.
Yeah, but she's younger.
A lot younger, yeah.
So that, to me, she collapsed a lot of time frames. You know, when you start looking at, she crossed that 300-minute barrier. She had her first shooting slump. She had her first everything early. So I think she collapsed that time frame, and I think as a result, that's why she's had such a successful freshman year. And it's opportunity. You know, we made the decision to be young in the offseason. We knew we had a great class coming in, and I didn't want them to sit over there and watch for a year. They needed to play. And there's no question we could have had a better record. We could have scheduled easier, or we could have brought back a bunch of seniors. But that wasn't what this group was. This group was about development and growth, and Sam's growth and Jersey's growth, and everybody's growth was, I think, accelerated because of that.
Coach, I want to ask you about Amber and just having that young roster and having Amber come back, what that meant having her on the court, especially with Matt going down. You had somebody else you could really lean on to help them through those tough times.
Well, I mean, you never anticipate the number of injuries we had to key people. I mean, we missed 19 games from our leading scorers after Christmas when it started with her little 2-game stretch. You know, we missed Jersey for a few, we missed Mac for a few, missed Marin for a bunch. If we hadn't had it, I don't think we would have made it through it. We would not have come out of this. We wouldn't have survived the 2-game losing streak, then the 3-game or the 4-game. We played good basketball. We played good against Georgia. We just didn't win. We played good against Tennessee. We just didn't win. If we hadn't had her in the locker room telling the story that you can't watch that scoreboard and let that be your judge, I don't think we would have ever come out. We would have got blown out at Mississippi State. We would be, not thinking about the NCAA tournament. And instead you got, our rebuilding year, and we're talking about still a chance to go play in the big dance. That's not been true for this program. It's been go to the dance and then go to 12th or 13th or 14th in the league, then come back up to the middle and maybe have a 3rd or 4th, and then go back down to 12th or 13th and 4th. That's not what this group allowed to happen. I think if she hadn't stayed, that would have been in the conversation.
And Amber, I'll ask you, you were talking about this is your last ride. So how much time do you allow yourself to really reflect on your time here with the 23 for 23 senior night, but yet focus on what is left in the season with the tournament coming
Honestly,
up?
I really haven't reflected on that type of stuff. I've been just focused on playing. That's what I don't want to let my emotions overcome what still needs to be done. So I feel like at the end, like when it's all said and done, then I'll reflect and be like, okay, what I did here was great. But right now, my main focus is Missouri, obviously, and then what we could do after that. So that I really haven't had the time. I really haven't let myself have the time to reflect on those moments.
Amber, what you said about learning eventually is maybe coaching in your plan?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely I want to be a coach. Hopefully my body allows me to play a couple more years professionally and then come back and coach wherever I can, hopefully with Coach Neighbors.
What do you guys take away from the SEC tournament last year? Things that you did, things that you maybe learned that you changed from being a one and done?
We didn't do anything different than the year we went to the finals. We played better. We played better that day. We won't change anything. I think we have a good approach. We've won a whole bunch of games in that thing. We went to the semis one year, went to the finals, a first-round loss. But that had a lot more to do with Ole Miss played great. We didn't. I will tell you this. I think it affected us last year. I will always regret the COVID year when we traveled day a game. I absolutely believe it was the right decision and the best thing to do. But it was also the most penalizing thing that happened when we got to tournament time because we had to stay in a hotel, and we hadn't done it.
At all.
None of our freshmen had done it. And we hadn't done it. And we got down there, and we're stuck in this hotel, and we were going crazy. We were literally going crazy in Austin. We couldn't leave our floor. I haven't been to jail yet. So I don't know what it feels like. But that's as close. That's what, from what I see on TV. I say yet because the time's coming. I know. I can't control my emotions sometimes. So somebody will do something to one of these guys one time, and I'm not afraid to go. I'm just saying I hadn't done it yet. But I think that so we're going to do something way different. We got a tailgate party set up that's going to be so much fun in Nashville. These guys don't even know about it, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We're taking them to Dave & Buster's tonight when we get to town. I'm going to kick their butt in every video game from the 80s that they've never seen before, and they'll kick my butt in all the new ones that I've never seen before. But we missed a full year and a half of fun. So we're going to have fun. And if it means we lose in the first round, I'm okay. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have fun in Nashville. It's a fun city. We're not going to be staying in that hotel for very long. We're going to be doing stuff. We're going to be enjoying the people that are going down with us. And I think what we learned is that if you don't have fun doing it, the outcome's irrelevant, win or lose.
Amber, for your teammates, for a lot of them, it's going to be their first postseason game. What advice do you give them going from regular season to the playoffs?
Honestly, just to continue what they're doing. They've been doing a great job this whole year. We battled adversity from losing streaks to people being injured to playing new roles that they haven't played before, and we've all done a great job. And that's going to be my message to them is continue doing what we're doing. Don't let the SEC tournament be like a different stage. Obviously, it's a different stage, but don't let that get overwhelming. We play Missouri, just act like it's another game against Missouri, and just go out there and play it like we have been the last couple games.
All right, Amber, last question about the playoffs, I swear, or postseason. But kind of danced around it a little bit, but specifically, what does this postseason mean to you?
I feel like this postseason means a little bit more to me just because, like, last year and the last couple years, we've had so many seniors, and a lot of it hasn't been on me. I feel like a lot I put on myself just because I'm old, like the oldest one on the team. I've been through a lot of things. I'm like, I've been here before. I'm gonna put whatever happens, I'm gonna put on me just because I've been in those situations, and I want to be the one to put my team on my back. I want to lead this team, whatever I could do, just to win. So I think it means just a little bit more, but we're just gonna go out there and continue to fight.
She's already won more SEC games than anybody in history. She's already won more SEC tournament games than anybody in history. Any Razorback, go look it up. She's been to the finals. I mean, she's done it. We've won 32 or 4, I think 34 games. What do we win? 6 and 9 and 6 and 7. Y'all do the math. That's more than any 4-year stretch ever that she's been a part of it. So her legacy is set. Mario's doing this. We had a 10 and a 9, that's 19. We had a 6, that's 25. And a 7 is 32. We had 7 this year. I think the highest other than that is 28. I think if you go back and you look, I think Tom Collin had a year where there was 4 years in a row where there was 28. I think Coach Blair had one where there was 26. Okay? So there's not been a player, not been a Razorback that's been a part of more wins than this one. So her legacy is cemented. And all she can do is add a chapter to it. If we end up in a third straight NCAA tournament, and I know y'all are going to say we didn't go in 20, but we went. Y'all might not have gone with us, but we went. And it happened. We did everything we were supposed to do to be in that thing, and we were going. And then last year, it was I can't say the word or I might go to jail. It was a different form of the tournament than what any of us have ever experienced. We didn't get to host. We earned the host. We earned a 4 seed, and for every other year in history, we would have got to have played in Bud Walton Arena. So for everybody that always goes back and goes, well, y'all lost your 4-13 game. It wasn't the 4-13 game. That was the seeding, but it wasn't on our home floor. It would have been. You telling me Bud Walton Arena wouldn't have been different?
Facts.
So for what her legacy set, and whatever she does for the rest of the way at the SEC tournament or the NCAA tournament or whatever we're doing, we're in the postseason. We know that for sure. Whatever we're doing for her legacy is set, cemented. I already made the announcement. Her jersey's going to hang in my game room. I don't know if it'll ever hang in here, but it'll be in my game room, which may be more important. But she's set.
Want to ask you about Michaela, as you kind of sat beside her as she watched on the bench while she was recovering, your point of view watching Michaela recover and how much you could tell she wanted to be out there with her teammates.
Well, I'm so much I like her on the floor better than sitting beside me. She is a pain in your ass sitting beside you. It is not any fun having her there, and it's certainly not any fun playing without her.
Right.
She could have probably gone out on the floor at Florida. She warmed up. We made it was literally a tip-off decision, and I just asked her. I said, "To me, you don't look like Mac," and she goes, "I don't feel like Mac." So we didn't play her. The next game, she felt better. It's progressing. It's hard to watch though. Like she went by a kid the other day at Mississippi State, and before I would have been going, "That's 2 or 3," and instead I'm like, "I hope she makes it." So I want to get back to where we've got that, and she's got it. And you can't give people confidence. I don't care what people say, the motivator speakers, and the confidence has to be earned. And she's getting it back. Her second half against Georgia, you saw it. At Mississippi State, she was good the whole time. Yep. And she's getting close to being – but I'm just happy for her because she wanted to be out there the next day. But, again, she's got a lot of basketball ahead of her. And – a small segment. And for our team, I think it gives our team confidence. It gives her confidence. It allows everybody to play the role that they're best at. Mac has to be out there for that. That allows Riley to come off the bench and be an amplifier instead of a starter or a person that we're yelling to shoot it at. It allows Jersey and Emory and Aaron to play their roles. It allows her to be in her natural position. It allows Sam to not have to handle the ball. So, her absence was obviously was huge. what's that saying? If your presence doesn't make a difference, your absence isn't going to be noticed. Her absence was noticed. So I'm glad she's coming back. I'm glad she's coming back confident and healthy, most importantly. She still gets sore during the game. Her shoulder will pop out or her knee. She'll land on her knee, and we'll hold our breath, and she'll run down there, and our athletic training staff will get her feeling better, and she'll come in. But I do think these days of rest, they were off yesterday, and today will feel like an off day in preparation.
Last one for me. How do you feel about your team right now, health-wise, and regular season's over, new ball game?
Hey, we're capable of peaking at the right time.
Yep.
I do think we're trending toward being healthy. There's a lot of people that have injuries, NCAA teams that are like trying to hide their injuries from the selection committee because they don't want, they've got, this kid's out for the year. Instead they're, she's day to day. Well, I saw the injury. She ain't day to day. But that's what they're going to say. We are trending up. We're getting people back. We went through it at a hard time, and it was hard, and it affected our, net or whatever, or the eye test, whatever people want to say. But I think we're trending in the right direction at the right time. I think I always want to have a healthy, happy team this time of the year. I know we're happiest that we've been in a long time. The health is improving. So I feel really confident. I'm confident of our NCAA stance. I just with the 4 extra bids, with 68 teams going this year, I look at that bubble, and I can't find a mathematical scenario that doesn't include us as one of the best teams participating in the at-large field. So we'll go down there with the confidence that we're going to win the tournament, just like I think Mac or Sam said. There's no different approach. I only pack 3 things because if we win and we get to the finals, I go shopping. Y'all know that rule. You pack for the first one, you pack for your win, and then you go shopping for the surprise. So if y'all see me in some new clothes come Sunday, then it's been a good week. We have multiple guitars packed.
Nice.
The SEC sent us a guitar that has the SEC logo, so I'm taking it to get it autographed for all the coaches to give to Coach Blair. It's not a secret, obviously, or I wouldn't have told you. And then part of our tailgate party includes performance by some country music stars that y'all will have heard of that I'm not going to tell you who they are, no matter how hard you try to tell me. And I'm going to get a chance to play with some of them. So I'm taking my guitar, and we're going to have a little tailgate party at an undisclosed site so that not anybody can crash it. But there'll be multiple guitars. Even one. Mario's the best guitarist in the room. So, yeah, Mario can go.
Mario's really good.
Mario can wail. Mario can wail. So we may not let him get up there because he kind of embarrasses everybody. So he should have held back a little bit. But, no, the guitars are definitely being packed. Boots are packed. We will be on Broadway. Again, like you can't go to Nashville and not let these kids experience the experience.
Football might be over this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pros and college hoops. For all the latest odds, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's promo code BLEAV. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds, right to the Olympic coverage, is the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your #1 online wagering destination. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts.